All right, the sun is out, the people are here. I'm just about ready to introduce our keynote speaker. Also, some of the panels today will be in Spanish because we are in Spain. So if you need the translation devices, we have them right around the corner in the thing. You just give them your ID, they give you a little earpiece, and then you can feel like you're part of the United Nations. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You start banging your shoe on the, it's like 1960s. Nobody remembers that. Okay, just me. I'm the only one. All right. I think I'm getting old. No, it happens. It happens. I'm still cute, though. Right? Right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thank you. All right, so we think we're ready. You ready? Okay, here we go. See, I'm this many years old now. I have to take off my glasses to read things. Here we go. Our keynote speaker is an award-winning keynote speaker, right? She's a writer, an accredited investor, board member, and international strategic management consultant. Jamie's success has led her to win the 2024 MJ BizCon Women in Leadership Award. She's been called Wonder Woman by Cannabis Now Magazine and is widely considered one of the most influential women in cannabis. Jamie has been a prosperous investor in global real estate on 3 continents, and she split her time between the United States and Europe for over 25 years. She is generous with her time and knowledge and currently sits on numerous boards and advisory committees. She's founded and she leads the new Holland Group, a global consulting firm serving clients with international business development and strategy, capital raising, cross-border IP expansion, and celebrity partnerships. And before that, she spent 7 years, including 3 as president and CEO of Bang, right? One of the world's most awarded infused edible brands, famous for its European-style chocolate bars. She's going to discuss cultivating unity and a global vision for cannabis, and she's here for us this morning. Let's bring her out. Show your love and appreciation. The one and only Jamie Pearson.
Good morning, Barcelona. Oh, wow. Okay. I had a feeling that this would be the last Spanibus. Rumors were around, and looks like it is, and it's really, really my honor to be here addressing all of you. I'm going to put my glasses on. Forgive me. Uh-oh, what just happened? Okay, there we go. It's an honor to stand before the leaders, the visionaries, and the pioneers of the global cannabis industry. We're here in Barcelona today gathering not just as entrepreneurs, policymakers, advocates, and aficionados, but we are a united force shaping the future of a global industry. But let's be honest, unity isn't always easy. I can't see this here. I'm sorry, you guys. This is... Can someone help me with the microphone, please?
Yes, of course. I do a lot of things around here. It's very technical. Righty-tighty.
Better? All right, yeah, that's better. Sorry.
Jamie Pearson!
We're here as a united force shaping the global cannabis industry. But let's be honest, unity isn't always easy. World leaders shake hands for the cameras, but behind closed doors, alliances are fragile, deals are conditional, and true collaboration is often undermined by power struggles and short-term interests. The cannabis industry cannot afford to play by those same rules. We are at a pivotal moment in history where technology, sustainability, and health intersect in ways we've never seen before. The world is completely interconnected, yet deeply divided. Economic disparity, environmental crises, and public health challenges are no longer confined to individual nations. These are global issues, and they require global solutions. For years, corporate leaders have called for unity in tackling these global challenges. Paul Pullman, the CEO of Unilever, champions sustainability as a foundation for a better future. Bill and Melinda Gates urge us to come together to combat public health threats, and the current CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, reminds us that digital inclusion is a key to prosperity. None of those people are talking about cannabis. They're talking about global issues because none of them are thinking about our industry. But today, I want to include cannabis as a tool for those very conversations. And know that when I say cannabis, I'm talking about cannabis and hemp, because understand they are the same plant. The cannabis plant is a basis for medicine, fiber, food, grain, plastic, wood, concrete, which we call hempcrete, and so much more. For decades, cannabis was a fragmented, criminalized, and irrationally stigmatized sector. In 2025, we stand at a tipping point. Countries are legalizing, markets are expanding. Science is starting to understand what cultures have known for centuries. Yet, despite this momentum, we still face international trade restrictions, inconsistent regulations, and fearful political leaders who prioritize control over collaboration. The question is, do we want to mimic the dysfunction that we see on the global stage? Or do we want to build a different kind of future, one based on trust, shared progress, and economic empowerment? Our challenges are not roadblocks, they're tests of resolve. The industry is young, but its future is going to be defined by those bold enough to shape it. My advice for every one of you in this room, especially the women and the people of color, do not wait for that change. Be that change. And never, thank you, and never, under any circumstance, let anyone tell you you don't belong in the room. This is our industry, and it's our opportunity to lead by example. We must show the world that cannabis is more than just a commodity or a CPG. It's a bridge that can unite cultures, economies, and people. Said differently, this plant, long misunderstood and criminalized, is not just an industry. It is the solution. Cannabis offers a path to achieving the very things the planet Earth's visionary leaders have championed: a healthier population, more sustainable industry, and a digitally and economically inclusive world. Let's start with health. When Bill and Melinda Gates addressed the world about the need for global cooperation in fighting disease, they were talking about transmissible illnesses and pandemics. But there are devastating crises like pervasive opioid and benzo addiction, people suffering from chronic pain and mental health disorders. These are not just national problems, they're global epidemics. And cannabis can help solve those problems. They have an incalculable impact on humanity, and cannabis, I repeat, can help solve those problems. Medical cannabis offers a safer, scientifically backed alternative to addictive pharmaceuticals, providing profound relief to millions suffering from epilepsy, PTSD, Parkinson's, cancer-related symptoms, and so many more. We all know this. The data shows organizations that welcome cannabis use by its members have lower absenteeism and better health outcomes. One such study precipitated the New Jersey Teachers Union to cover cannabis for its members through their union health insurance. The New Jersey Teachers Union is covering cannabis through its health insurance for its members. That's progress. But outdated policies in places like right here in Spain continue to prevent access for medical patients who desperately need these effective solutions. Imagine a world where every country recognizes cannabis as the legitimate medicine it is. Imagine the impact on the global healthcare systems if we reduced opioid and benzo and alcohol dependency, improved mental health, and empowered patients with safer, natural alternatives. This isn't a fantasy. This is within our reach. And just as cannabis improves health outcomes, it's also an economic equalizer. Satya Nadella, the current CEO of Microsoft, emphasizes that technology is a great equalizer. It's a tool of inclusion, not exclusion. And I believe this idea applies perfectly to our industry as well. We understand how technology bridges gaps. I remember in 2012, I took my family on a trip to climb Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, and we watched a member of the Maasai tribe barefoot walking down the road talking on a cell phone. We understand how technology can create an inclusive world. Cannabis can do the same thing. Lawmakers understand that regulated markets generate billions in tax revenue that can be reinvested in things like education, infrastructure, and social programs. They get addicted to that tax revenue, and that's often the Trojan horse that gets us into communities. But what they often fail to see is that legalization provides the pleasant surprise of the economic boom that comes from harm reduction. How much human potential is wasted from having a parent sit in jail for a plant? The prisoner, sure, we understand their human potential is wasted, but do we ever stop to calculate the cost to that entire family system, the children, that prisoner's parents, the employer that loses their employee? There is a boom that comes when police no longer have to bust a guy with a joint or a dime bag because they can go actually solve violent crimes like robbery and rape. And they can allocate those resources to that instead of coming after us. When embraced boldly and implemented, what evolves after legalization is remarkable. We all know it's never embraced and boldly implemented. Legislators hold their nose, go after that tax revenue. But if the ones in a few places that we know of that were very, very cannabis friendly have seen incredible economic prosperity. We see indigenous farmers, small-scale entrepreneurs prosper. We see cannabis prisoners released back to their families and into the workforce. Our industry provides a pathway to wealth creation that doesn't require a Silicon Valley address. And let's talk about sustainability. Paul Pullman he's been one of the loudest voices for businesses to prioritize sustainability. What if I told you that one of the most powerful solutions has been growing in our soil for centuries? Hemp is not just a crop. It's an environmental game changer. It absorbs 4 times more CO2 than trees, regenerates soil, requires no pesticides, needs a fraction of water to grow, and can be used to create biodegradable plastics, sustainable textiles, and carbon-negative building materials like hempcrete. Not in 10 years, not tomorrow, now. Imagine global corporations shifting from petroleum-based plastics to hemp-based alternatives. Imagine entire industries built on sustainable hemp textiles replacing fast fashion. Imagine plastic cutlery and straws made from marine-certified, kitchen-compostable hemp. Imagine no longer having to choose between planet and profit. This isn't just a possibility. Everything I just mentioned is happening today. I have personally invested in companies that are doing exactly what I just described for you. It exists now. Why are we waiting for governments to create these frameworks? They are ill-equipped to create them. They don't know what they don't know. It's our responsibility to do a few things. Number one, we as an industry need to standardize global regulation to facilitate fair trade, ensuring safe products, and eliminate unnecessary roadblocks. We need to do that. Standardization creates efficiencies for everybody. Our industry needs to create the frameworks together and provide them to our governments. We need to strengthen supply chains to provide the globe unfettered access to the best our world has to offer, like high-quality genetics from Northern California and Southern California, Northern California and Southern Oregon. We need access to delicious Moroccan hash, hardy phenotypes from the regions of Afghanistan, South Africa, Panama, and Jamaica. We need seeds from Barcelona and Holland. A globally aligned supply chain is the rising tide that lifts all boats. Imagine a world where cannabis becomes a symbol of global cooperation, a world where an African manufacturer, a European investor, a Latin American cultivator, and a North American distributor operate with each other. I know this is possible because I have clients in every one of those countries doing every one of those things. Imagine if instead of nations closing their doors, they opened them to trade, to research, to data, to shared prosperity. We have the power to make this happen, and it starts here in this room with us. So here's my challenge to all of you. The rest of this day, and the rest of your time at Cannabis, and every day from now on, be intentional about making cannabis global and strengthening our standardization and supply chains. How? First, assume the world is abundant. Let's stop living in lack. We don't have to be worried about competition. There is enough. The majority of North America and Europe have embraced cannabis. Stop breathing life into the word stigma. Breathe life into cannabis being normal and accepted. Let's just remove the word stigma from our vocabulary. I believe where a thought goes, a molecule follows. If we keep talking about it, we're going to keep breathing life into it. Let's talk about cannabis as the norm. Now, ask each other 3 questions. Where are you from? What is your region known for in cannabis? And how are you or your region leveraging that strength to expand globally? That conversation starts the standard and supply chain conversation. So let's practice that right now. I want you guys, seriously, turn to your neighbor, the one you don't know, and ask them where they're from. Let's do it. Okay, now that you know where your neighbor's from, ask them what their region is known for. And now, ask them what you can do to cooperate with each other, your 2 regions. When you're out in the world, that's your job. Remember that in the craziness of today's world, do we all agree the world's getting a little crazy? Raise your hand if you think the world's getting a little crazy. Yeah, me too. Here's the good news. Cannabis leaders are at an advantage. Chaos is our normal. Okay, so you guys can all stop talking now. We have an advantage as cannabis leaders because chaos is our normal. We've always been the change drivers against all odds. We've always been swimming upstream. We know how to change things. We're all sitting here because the world has changed in our favor, but we did that. And we know that to work in cannabis is to constantly make decisions in unpredictable situations. We have a PhD in parallel processing. If this happens, I'm going to do this. If that happens, I'm going to do that. That's the world we live in, and we know how to do that. The world is watching us. Governments are hesitant and cautious. Investors are cautious, but really excited about good opportunities. There is brilliance in innovation, and we, the leaders in this industry, are brilliant. We must prove that cannabis is more than just an industry. It is, in fact, the global solution, one that prioritizes progress over politics, innovation over isolation, and collaboration over control. We need leaders who are bold enough to push global agenda forward. Let's not wait for the world to get this right. Let's show them how it's done. Thank you.
Jamie Pearson, always fantastic, wonderful. All-star point guard on our high school basketball team.